Okay, so let's talk about working with permissions. Now, I'm going to start here. I am in my home, my personal home directory. So you see right here, David at Ubuntu.com. If I do a print working directory or PWD, it says I'm in home David. I can also tell it just by a prompt because I've got that little dollar sign. That means hey, I'm at, or that little tilde means hey, I'm at home. If I do CD period period, it now displays, instead of the tilde, it shows me my actual directory. CD etc shows me I'm in my etc directory. All right, so we have done an ls, or directory listing, to view our existing folders and files. And there's not a whole lot. If you just do CD, by the way, no matter where you are, just CD enter, it takes you back to home. And so here you'll see I actually have very little here at the moment. There's actually a little bit more. If I do ls-a, you're going to see that there actually are some hidden files there. So let me go back to my home directory. So cd/home. And I want to do the ls, and I'm going to see the files there. ls-a says show me everything, which just shows me dot and dot dot, a couple of other things. But another one that we're going to look at a lot is this, ls-l. And this is going to give us more detailed information. So, this right here, this first string of characters is our permissions. The number is the number of links. And then we've got the first David here is the user owner. The second one is the associated group, and then size, date, and then last but not least, the name of the file. So let's say that D. Wilson, S. Smith, and T. Jones all need to share files. They're all part of our sales group, so we want to create a place for them to share sales files. So we're going to make a new directory in our home folder. This is fairly common. mkdir. So kind of mk, not km. mkdir sales. And sudo mkdir sales. There, stop arguing with me. And now I have a sales folder. Now, that sales folder, you'll see it right here is the third one, is owned by root. And root is also the group owner. Remember, for every user, we also have an associated group. So at this point, let's talk about permissions. Now, that's this first string, drwx r-x r-x. So the D just identifies this as a directory. All right, that's easy enough. The next 9 characters, rwx, r-x, r-x, that is the permissions. And the permissions are in 3 groups. So there's the owner permissions, there is the group permissions, and there is the world permissions. So rwx, read, write, execute. So the user, in this case root, that owns this folder has read, write, execute permissions. The group that owns this, also at the moment root, has read and execute. So if you're not the root user, but you are part of the root group, you have read and execute permissions, but not write permissions. The last 3 are for the world. Rx, so read, no write, but you do have execute. So now that we know what those are, how do we manipulate them? We manipulate them using the command chmod. But we're going to start by using chgrp. And I'm going to have to sudo this again. Sudo chgrp, or change group. And I want to change the group. I want to set the group sales for the directory /home/sales. Now that should make the sales group now the group associated with that. ls-l to confirm, and sure enough, this is now owned by sales. So now I want to change the permissions, and that's with chmod. And chmod lets me add or subtract permissions. So if I just hit chmod dash, this is an older one, so it's dash dash help. All right, this will give me more information about it. And there's lots of different ways that this will work. So let's do this the easy way. ls-l, I want to remove permissions for the world or for other. So it's chmod other, and I want to subtract read and execute from /home/ sales. And forgot to sudo it again. There we go. Now ls-l, and the owner has read, write, execute. The group has read and execute but not write. Nobody else has any permissions whatsoever. So now I want to make sure that sales can write this as well. So that's going to be chmod add, group add write. And to /home/sales. And once again, I forgot my sudo. Now ls-l, and we have read, write, execute for user, read, write, execute for group, and nothing else for anybody else. All right. So owner, group, or user, group, and other. So the user, which is the user who owns it, that's the U. So we do U minus X if we want to remove execute permissions for the user. Group is going to be the second one, and other is going to be the third one, or we'll frequently talk or refer to it as world. Now, this can also be done using numbers, and this takes a little bit more thought, but it's kind of cool the way it works. And that is we assign values to each of these permissions. So the first one, the R, has a value of 4. W has a value of 2, and X has a value of 1. So here's how this would work. Let me create a new one here. Sudo mkdir, and we're going to call this a temp folder. ls-l. And we see our temp folder right here. Default permissions, read, write, execute for the user, read and execute for the group and the world. So this is, the way we do this using numbers is we add up the values of the permissions we want. So this is what it would look like. chmod. And for the user, I want to have read, write, execute. So read is 4, write is 2, execute is 1. I add all those up, that's 7. So the group, the second one, is I want them to have read and write but not execute. So that'd be 4 plus 2 is 6. Read and write but not execute. For the other, or for the world, I want them to have read but not write or execute. So that would just be 4. So it would be 764/home/temp. Sudo. All right. Now if I do ls-l, you'll see our permissions were changed by numbers. All right. So that's how you can change permissions. So what we do is we put together the user accounts, we put them into groups, we set permissions in specific folders for specific groups, and then we add users to multiple groups, and that's how we can control permissions in Linux. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of my temp folder, rmdir, and I'm going to have to sudo it again. rmdir home temp, and ls-l to see that it is gone, and there we go. We have taken a look at managing permissions in Linux.